The war I think we were all waiting for, the war for North America between the US and England, is about to begin. So Vicky just declared the war about a turn ago, and we've been talking about this. This could be really, really bad for Teddy, because if you look around, Teddy doesn't have much here. Teddy has a lot of troops out here in the west. He did just settle Denver, and he's been, he hasn't gotten any further than the classic name, Medicine Hat. But yeah, he's been really focused. Oh, he has got San Diego, but I'm wondering how focused he was taking down the Aztecs. And we see, obviously, a few units here in the Gulf of Mexico. This could be interesting for him. Now, he's naturally got a pretty good defense because of the encampments here. I don't know if he's been preparing for this for a while, as well as, there's a hill and there's some forest and things like that. So that might be helpful. And the other thing is that Vicky does have pretty old units. So, all it really takes is maybe maybe just one infantry unit, and maybe that's going to keep him safe. This very likely could end up in a stalemate, though, I think. Another big development is that, Australia seems to be continuing to dig themselves in a further and further hole. They're digging themselves a hole, I guess, from what I'm saying here. So Ho Chi Minh City. I'm not sure exactly if that's how you pronounce it, but again, there certainly is. I think by the end of this game, there's got to be a war that pops up between Australia and China. Or what else could happen is Japan would have a much easier time taking a city that has 3 adjacent water tiles, sea tiles. So I think that war has got to take place within the next 150 turns at most. Tons of Japanese missionaries also are kind of starting to trek across all the way, I think they have their first missionary in Europe. Or they've been doing that for a while. I'm not sure if they've ever got to Europe. Let me know in the comment section down below. Have you guys ever seen a Japanese missionary in Europe yet? I don't think so, but they're slowly spreading their religion. Again, this is a domination-only game. I don't even know if I mentioned that. But either way, obviously having the world's most dominant religion, you're going to get a ton of founder beliefs, depending on their founder belief, which we might be able to check pretty soon. I almost forgot the other big war, because I think that, the conflict between England and America pretty much overshadowed this one, but Norway once again is going after Peter the Great. I don't know if there is a little bit more of an advantage he might have this time around. Possibly. I mean, Russia miraculously, I don't even know how to pronounce that word, but have been doing pretty good. I don't know. I mean, Scythia has allowed them to stay alive. They have 5 cities, obviously. This one is just north of Crimea, basically. They've been very, very lucky. They can't, obviously I don't think they have open borders with Poland or Scythia, so they can't ever really reinforce this city. But nonetheless, Peter's done a good job coming back somewhat. And this encampment, was the encampment taken? Oh, it looks like it kind of was. I don't really know why that berserker unit is inside the encampment. But nonetheless, if Norway's going to have a tough time with this war, we'll have to wait and see. Also, over the break, Poland did just take the German city, the final German city on mainland Europe. So they only have 2 left, but they might get a third, possibly. Maybe they'll be the ones. Watch Germany be the ones to settle Iceland. I've been waiting this entire damn series. Somebody, please, just do it, please. And obviously, after this fallen city was taken, Poland and France both pieced out with them. So looks like Catherine is maybe either preparing after a peace treaty, after the peace treaty is over. Maybe they're preparing to go after Frederick again. Wouldn't be a bad idea. I mean, France needs to try something. Like I've been saying, man, I really think that Rome eventually is going to go after Catherine, and he's going to be probably pretty successful to do it if he does it, which I'm pretty confident he will. He's very focused on Africa right now. So, he's settling closer and closer to both Arabia and Egypt. I'm not sure what's going on in Trajan's mind. Las Palmas was also settled just right here, just right in the crevices of Egypt and the Kongo. Kind of sounds a little creepy when you phrase it like that, Drew, but nonetheless, it's gonna be a pretty... I don't know, man. I don't know what they're thinking, but I'm pretty sure there's gonna be a lot of wars that get started, or maybe at least 1 or 2 that get started because of this city placement. So maybe I was wrong. Maybe I'm starting to realize that, Teddy really very quickly reinforced this border here, surprisingly. I don't know, I mean, maybe he does. He has a pretty good infrastructure down. I didn't really realize that. If you really zoom in, it's like, oh, damn, he's got these roads up. They're taking the 5 this way. I don't even know what road that is. I'm just throwing out the only freeway I know in Southern California. But they're taking their roads, and there's a lot of infantry units coming. Look, this is an infantry army, so they're gonna be doing a lot of damage. You know what? This might This actually might be really, really good for Teddy now that I think about it, because obviously once Vicky runs out of units, what else has she got? The best thing she has are these frigates, because I don't think America has much of a navy at this point. Yeah, they don't have a single ship, I don't think. And maybe in the Pacific, or maybe not actually. I mean, you don't even have a harbor built, so it's unlikely. Persia is looking like they want to settle again next to Gandhi. They'll probably go right here for this grassland next to the salts by the mountains. It's crazy that India has not, I don't think they've been in a single war, have they? I know that they thought about it. There's that point in video 1 or 2 where they had like a pretty massive force right here where Sparta was. I don't think that is, I don't think they ever declared a war either way. I think they were possibly trying to go after Sumeria, which for some reason there's like an endless war with Gilgamesh. Again, Arabia still hasn't peaced out, which is unfortunate because at this point, if he would have peaced out, he might have an okay city right here. But it's been obviously not growing because of the occupation. So Harald managed to get at least one AT crew. I was gonna call this a bazooka because man, that just needs to be a bazooka. It just looks like a bazooka dude to me. He at least has one adjacent to this city. I don't think he's gonna get the attack off because these crossbow and these medieval units are gonna take down an AT crew quite easily actually, because you're basically surrounded. I think Peter's gonna be fine. Norway just doesn't have as big of a military right now, so it's kind of his downfall. I don't know if he has much of a navy. Maybe that's his thing. Maybe he's focusing on a navy, which of course could be scattered throughout the Atlantic by now. Who knows? I mean, it could be in the Atlantic. It could be in the Pacific. Oh, look at this. England's not even giving up. They might lose all their cities, but they're going to keep going. Poland just declared war on Macedon, and that's actually kind of funny because for this next cut, I did want to focus on Macedon. Actually, no, I didn't care about Macedon. I cared about Poland because they somewhat came back here. Has Poland been fixed? Because back before, I know everyone was kind of like, oh crap, here we go again, Poland having their rebellious problems. They have come back. I mean, I was shocked that they were the ones to take over this German city inside of modern-day Denmark. But they got rid of the rebels pretty quickly. They fixed a lot of their pillaged tiles. So there does seem to be improvement here. There definitely does seem to be improvement. This is kind of interesting. Gorgo has open borders with Poland, so we'll see if what she's going to end up doing with that. I think she's had open borders with them for a while, but it's interesting to see these two because they're surprisingly some of the biggest and strongest in East Europe. But yeah, there's a few cavalry units that have moved inside of Macedon. Again, Budapest still has problems. They never really fixed Salzburg or Budapest walls, so, might be a little bit easier. You're going to have to take down that encampment, but, I mean, there's a bombard that should be able to do quite a bit of damage. I don't think Alexander has much. Obviously, they don't have really any sort of military, and like I've been talking about and speculating, this is when Gorgo needs to attack. Please, Gorgo, Greece, do something. Or who knows? Imagine if Pericles takes the city. That'd be amazing, because Pericles is technically playing on Prince. So that'd be almost a bigger upset than the city-state Florence in Civilization 5. Yeah, just like that, man. Teddy has this city under siege. I mean, he hasn't started attacking it just yet. Obviously, the musketmen core units are probably going to be a little bit tougher to take down, but yeah, the horsemen don't have his chance. If he's able to obviously directly hit the catapult, yep, catapult's dead. He's moving in. This is impressive. So maybe I was underestimating. I think I was definitely underestimating because I was surprised at how many people were putting America in the previous video in their top 3. I was like, whoa, what? And I know that they have a lot of land and they have access to a lot of territory, but I didn't see much of a military. And them not taking down this Aztec city. Has this Aztec city always had that name? I'm not sure, but that's kind of funny. I don't think it did. I don't think it always had that name. But I know people were making fun of that in the comment section. Yeah, so, and Aztecs, like we thought, is continuing to move further down South America, which is going to piss off Brazil quite a bit. But yeah, because their military was so spread out, I probably severely underestimated Teddy. We'll see if he actually takes a city. There are 4 cities technically on North America. There's going to be 5 that England controls. So if this does end in a stalemate, that's actually going to be a pretty bad thing for Teddy. He's got to get something out of this. And it looks like Australia also going for another, geez, I don't even know what city this is, but it's going to be interesting because they have pretty much left the Indonesian islands and New Guinea just completely alone. I'm wondering if the AI has been kind of tuned a little bit to stay away from islands. Again, Civ 6, islands, not a good combination. Civ 5, they were okay, but Civ 6, no, they're very, very bad. So You just need the room to spread out and place those districts. Well, I mean, Australia gets that nice appeal bonus, so maybe, you know, maybe that's not necessarily the case, but it'll be interesting to see where the AI settles. Maybe this island, that's not bad, or maybe he'll go for China. I mean, there's still a lot of opportunity to colonize modern-day China, because Japan pretty much stopped, and so has China themselves. This is kind of interesting because Norway is getting pretty close. Unfortunately, I don't think they're going to get the job done because these units have taken too much damage. Not even sure how much Peter has lost in terms of military strength. It looks like he hasn't really lost anything. Yeah, he's partying it up with these Japanese missionaries spreading Buddhism. We'll actually have to kind of check on religion briefly because at some point, because yeah, religion is going to be pretty interesting, especially because there's only like 2 or 3 civs that are actually playing a religious game at this point. Kind of weird, but Persia is starting to engage once again. I feel like they've, you know, somewhat moved in on Sumeria, like every, I don't know, 50 turns. They're starting to do it again, and they've got a ton of artillery. These artillery would do just so much damage, and they have a cavalry unit, or I'm sorry, knight corps unit, which is okay, but that could be the melee hit that they needed. I think that, what is your name again? It's not Darius, I'm thinking of Darius. Cyrus. I think Cyrus might be able to have an opportunity. I think last time they were getting close to taking a city, but they didn't have a damn melee unit. So I was just like, what are you doing, dude? Like, you got to get your stuff together. You need to get a melee unit down here. They have that now, but I still don't know if it's going to be enough. So Poland is being very strange in their invasion. They've completely bypassed Budapest and Salzburg, even though, I mean, they probably took one hit. Looks like they took like a chunk out of Budapest here. But yeah, they went straight down for the capital. Maybe not a horrible idea. I mean, cavalry units, okay, well, they're starting to attack Budapest, and they're bringing in the reinforcements. Boom, that encampment's about to fall. Or did it already? Ooh, and we don't know what Poland's gonna do. Poland has had the tendency to peace out before they actually should. This is actually perfect for Jadwiga, something like that, because yeah, you have 2 of your, you know, the biggest enemies to your east at war, Norway and Russia, so they don't have to worry about Harald or Peter backstabbing them. They can take all the time they need, really, because no one else, you know, I don't know how the relationship with France is. Obviously, there's open borders, so they must have somewhat of a good, they must be on somewhat of good terms. That's really the biggest threat to the Polish Empire right now. So they can sit in this war for a while, I think. I mean, that's obviously disregarding the fact that maybe Gorgo could come in. Maybe I'm giving Gorgo too much credit. I would just love to see Gorgo, who started off with 1 city for so long, now obviously with 2. I'd love to see Gorgo do well in this campaign, but clearly they are very technologically disadvantaged. So whatever they try, it is going to be tough. And just look at America, man. They are surrounding the English territory. They're surrounding Canada, basically, is what I said I was going to start calling this region, but I haven't until this point. So we'll see if they are able to take that settler. Not exactly sure how AI is at taking civilian units, but nonetheless, we'll kind of have to keep in mind that the city's still under siege. It's surrounded by infantry units at this point. There's a few tiles still left, but yeah, they've gotten rid of their, you know, the scariest unit for them is just these musketmen, or some of them retreated, it looks like. So what England needs to do is I would just cut the losses, man. Cut the losses. You got to be cool with Teddy, because Teddy is clearly going to be the dominant powerhouse here. He hasn't settled this city. Maybe he'll settle San Francisco or something like that. Maybe Seattle, it looks like. And we'll have to wait and see how the relationship with the Aztecs go. Aztecs not doing well, but it is going to be interesting to see as they approach Pedro, who, geez, what's Pedro doing? Pedro's doing the same thing. I don't think he's settled any new cities. He's got a nice navy, though, which is interesting when you think about the Atlantic and all the other civs that have all these naval units in the Atlantic. So this is starting to become pretty interesting because Tamiris and Gandhi are going to border each other. And we're also starting to enter the late game, even though it's only turn 200. For the Deity AI, this is starting to become a late game. So that means Gandhi is, you know, starting to do what Gandhi does best and builds nukes. He's going to build a lot of nukes. So there could be, if anyone's going to get nuked, it might actually be Tamiris. I could see Tamiris getting nuked, but still end up taking whatever city they wanted. Especially if, you know, India continues to colonize this small region. What is it? Someone told me Someone told me what this region is called, but of course Drew forgot, so I don't remember. Russia just made peace with Norway. This is just kind of interesting in general because Russia, surprisingly, because I completely disregarded them very early on. I was like, okay, Russia's done. As soon as they lost this, just a single city to Scythia, but they managed to keep going, and they can even settle a lot more. This is kind of a big deal because I'm not sure how this is going to deter Norway's own settling. You know, they've had the settler here. I don't know how long that settler's been there for a while, but we know Norway was settling for the tundra, and you know, Russia could technically just cut them off right here, just one city, and then Norway will have to, you know, do something a little. Oh, Scythia declared war on Greece. Greece declared war on Rome. Greece declared war on Rome. Scythia declared war on Greece. What? Now that's the problem. We don't know what Greece it is. Both. So there must have been a defensive pact there, because both Greeces are teaming up against Rome, and this is actually Pericles, like I said, who's on Prince difficulty. Holy crap. Also, Budapest is beginning to fall. It looks like America is finally starting to attack this city. Honestly, they probably only need a turn. Actually, no. They probably need 2 turns, 3 turns maybe, because there's no siege unit here. They're just melee attacking the city over and over again. And things are just not doing good at all. Things are not going well for Vicky, even though they're sending over reinforcements, which is pretty cool. I mean, just the fact that they're trying this is pretty awesome. But yeah, I did go back to the British Isles. I noticed that things aren't going well at home either. They might be able to take care of these rebels before they pillage anything too bad. It does seem like the AI, like I said, is fixing pillage tiles now, because they weren't for a really long time after the game's release, but it seems like they kind of fixed that. This might not be that big of a deal, but kind of interesting to see that England's having rebels back at home, and they're also losing. They're going to lose a war, I think, pretty significantly in North America. You know, this city's doing a little bit better than I thought, though. I do want to admit, I mean, they just attacked it with all of the adjacent infantry units. It's still standing, so, you know, there is a chance that Teddy's going to be stupid and peace out a little bit too early. Budapest has officially fallen, and now Egypt has declared war on Arabia. This has been an insane episode. This is just crazy. So we also have both Greeces after Rome. If Rome doesn't have much of a navy for some reason, so that's, I think that, you know, Rome should easily be able to handle Pericles, and Scythia can't get towards Gorgo's Greece, if that was the Greece they declared war on. I think it was actually Pericles that declared this war. So I don't think really much is going to actually happen from that. But we do know, because I'm assuming that was a defensive war, so Rome and Scythia are somewhat working together. That's kind of a scary team right there. So yeah, my baby Cleopatra decided to declare war on Arabia, and kind of rooting for her here. Maybe if she takes the city, maybe she'll go to the dance with me or something. I don't know. Probably not. But she's crossing the Red Sea. Won't be very easy, but she's really lucky that Saladin never got an encampment in his capital. That's really kind of strange. I gotta be real here. What is this Persian naturalist doing? Boy, you better get home. You're in the middle of the desert. What are you doing? I don't know. We'll find out later. But I don't think this is going to be super successful unless they go after Damascus, which I do realize is kind of a strange name for a city that's totally not even near Damascus. And there we go. The first English colony has officially fallen to Teddy. So if he wants, I mean, he can easily grab Ottawa. I'm not sure if he's going to go after Ottawa. There are a few more reinforcements. Yeah, so he still has more infantry units. Dang. He actually might clean house here. I mean, just looking overall, trying to consolidate all these units in my head, yeah, Teddy could just completely wipe her out. He hasn't taken over this settler yet, but it doesn't look like Vicky's even trying to move that settler, because she knows at this point, you know, her colonies are falling apart. But hey, she did get rid of the rebels, so yeah, good for her, I guess. And Poland is officially going after the Macedonian capital. This would be a really big deal if this city falls, especially if Poland just completely wipes them too. How bad would that be? That would be, Alexander would be the only civ to be wiped out of the game so far. Well, there could be, you know, Pericles' Greece might eventually be wiped out. Actually, it's likely, because Poland would probably do it too. But it'd be kind of funny to see Alexander the Great, probably the most hated civ leader, fall first. I think a lot of people would appreciate that. The civ fans would, at least. So this is going to be kind of interesting, because Arabia does have their Mamluks, but they're doing some weird stuff with their Mamluks. I'm not sure. I mean, they're going to get wiped out pretty easily. And Egypt, unfortunately, doesn't realize that, yeah, she can't do naval combat. Not across the Red Sea. You can't send melee units across the Red Sea. I mean, if she lands them, then maybe that's a different story, but she really needed some sort of reinforcement, some sort of ship here at the very least to help her out. I don't think that's going to be the case, though. It's pretty interesting to see Gandhi start to move their units again. Like I said, I don't think Gandhi has declared any wars at all. I think he might have actually. I think he might have declared one war, but nothing. It hasn't. He's been really quiet. I get it. You know, he's in southern India, or he's in southern Asia. You know, who is he supposed to declare war on? I figured he'd declare war on Persia a lot sooner, but maybe he's starting to think about it, especially with this new city that, yeah, I knew he was going to settle there. So that might be something that he's thinking about. Just a little update on the American war so far. I mean, they're healing up, so they're not really doing much. England has a few reinforcements, but I feel like they're not even really trying to bring in those reinforcements because they know they're just going to die anyways. So it's kind of interesting to see what they're going to do here. Like I said, yeah, this settler isn't moving. So we know that Vicky's kind of like, I don't really know if I want this anymore. Maybe I should just leave to South America. Or there's a lot of Pacific islands that are open, but the AI doesn't want those islands. Short of some sort of horrible mistake by the AI, it seems like for sure Alexander's going to lose his capital. This thing is completely surrounded. Let's see if they lose it right here, actually. Nope. They're going to hold him back. So 56 combat defense at the moment seems to be pretty average, stopping some of these units at least. I mean, they're only really using cavalry units and field guns. And has Gorgo moved at all? Because this region, the Balkan region, is pretty interesting right now. No, the Greeks, both of the Greek civs haven't really moved much. There seems to be, I don't know what the hell they were trying to do, but Pericles was trying to do something, ended up being a disaster. He's invading very nicely though with his builder. I've got to give him credit for that. So surprisingly, you know, Egypt is getting a little bit more progress than I thought she would. She does have some cavalry units that she was able to land. I don't know if she's going to get the catapult in play, but like we just saw, 59 city defense seems to be a good spot to be in. These cavalry units, I don't think are going to get enough done, unless they're pillaging. Maybe that's what they're trying to do. Maybe they're just trying to slow down Saladin or something. Whew, this was a pretty big episode for conflicts. A lot of things breaking out all around the world. I think clearly America and Poland have definitely distanced themselves from everybody else, all the other civs in this world. I think for a lot of people in their minds, at least for you guys viewing this, for me, certainly Poland and America have got to be 1 and 2, I think, right now. But we'll have to wait and see in the next episode. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.